good evening. I'm Neha Karumbaya and you're watching News at 8 on Sigma News. The headlines at this hour. Aviation industry goes on a purchasing mode amid financial disability on its 100th anniversary. Hike in fuel price for the 10th time this year. A special report on patients affected by medical negligence. Montessori's in the city, now a big business. Prices of musical instruments go down. Availability and buyers increase in the city over a decade. Now the news in detail. The civil aviation industry during the centenary celebrations yesterday made big decisions, but lack of financial resources seemed to stand against it. Take a look. At the centenary celebration of civil aviation in Bangalore yesterday, Aviation Minister Vailar Ravi said that Air India does not have enough money to acquire a massive aircraft fleet.
I am not a member of the Air India board. I not received any report from the Air India board decision. When the report comes, we look into it. As it is, the government of India, the Air India has no money to purchase the more aircraft. But if the necessity of they need the aircraft is necessary for time being, then they come with a proposal. Then we'll have a look at it.
However, Vailar Ravi also said that he expects a board meeting regarding Air India acquiring Boeing to be held soon. GVK Reddy, chairman of GVK Group, which has 43% stake in BIAL, confirmed the addition of new runways.
Immediately we will go ahead, we run for the expansion within 18 months' time. We'll go for the second runway maybe next year, and later third runway it will take 5, 10, 15 years.
GVK Reddy also spoke about the progress in the ongoing expansion program of widening the terminal from 72,000 square meters to 1.34 lakh square meters. After completing 100 years of success, aviation industry will now work towards their proposed goals, with BIAL expecting its second runway next year and Air India still deciding whether to acquire Boeing or not. With Deepika Shetty, this is Neha Karumbaya for Sigma News. The government has increased petrol prices by 3 rupees. This is the 10th time fuel prices have gone up this year. Nitin Porwal has an exclusive report.
A litre of petrol will now cost you 75 rupees. This is the 10th time the prices of petrol have hiked in the same year. The public who completely depend on their vehicle can do nothing but complain about the rising prices of petrol.
From 55, I think it's gone up to 70, right? And every 2 months, you know that nothing goes up, but petrol prices will definitely go up if nothing goes. So every 2 months we're so used to it, okay, every time we'll have a petrol hike.
Many are now trying to shift to different options like public transport and diesel cars. Be it be working professionals, students, everybody's monthly expenditure has increased considerably because of the hike.
In terms of monthly expenses, I would say it costs another 300-400 extra bucks a month.
I go to office around 15 kilometers from one side. So my per month expenses were 800 around earlier. Now from past 6 months it has reached around 1200 per month.
The students, especially who have to commute every day to their schools and colleges, are forced to let go on their pocket money because of the increased prices.
As a student, it is affected me because we are moving to colleges on our bikes, and because of high rate of petrol, we cannot travel through our bikes. We are not doing any jobs. Just we are moving to college to study. Who will give us money? Our parents will give us money. How much they can give for petrol?
Public sector oil marketing companies have hiked the price of petrol by 3.5 rupees. The petrol, which was sold earlier for 71.5 rupees, is now sold almost for 75 rupees. While the people hold central government responsible for this, there are private companies like Reliance and Shell in the market who are also selling the petrol in the same price or above. This is Nitin Porwal reporting for Sigma News.
Many might say that doctors save lives and increase the average lifespan. But sometimes, unfortunately, the opposite is true. We bring you 2 cases of medical negligence, one that has resulted in the death of a 2-month-old baby and another that has reduced a 35-year-old to a vegetative existence.
This is 2-month-old Mohammad Rifai with his mother Fatima. And this is Rifai less than 1 day later. What should have been a routine medical checkup at the Kasturba Hospital in Manipal turned out to the worst nightmare for Fatima.
ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಜಾವ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ನರ್ಸ್ಗಳಾದ ಸಂಗೀತ
Two nurses, Seema and Sangeeta, came at 5 in the morning to give my son a bath. I was sent to weigh my son's urine pad. While I was away, the two nurses had put the baby in boiling water. Dr. Sujit George, who was present at the hospital, refused to give first aid as he said my baby was not his patient.
Fatima told Dr. Pushpakini, who was in charge of the baby, arrived 6 hours after the incident and said this happened due to a medical reaction. By the time the doctors began treating Mohammad Rifai, it had already been 7 hours since the accident. Rifai had to be fed through a tube and he could not pass urine because of the severe burns. He died 4 days later. Kasturba Hospital refuses to take the blame. Instead, cites renal failure and sepsis for Rifai's death, ruling out any negligence. Mourning but determined, Fatima has taken her case to the police and the Human Rights Commission.
ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಹೀಗಾಯಿತು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
The Manipal police station has filed an FIR against the hospital the second time we went there, only because we told them we were sent by Human Rights Commission. Things seemed a little fishy when I got to know that the sample of my baby, which was with the Manipal police, was sent to the lab to be resealed. This is the reason why Human Rights Commission has started investigating this case right from scratch.
We tried speaking to Sangeeta, the nurse responsible for the incident, but she refused to speak. Fatima knows she cannot get her son back, but she hopes the right justice will be done, much like what the family of Shailaja is hoping for in our second case of medical negligence. Almost 2 years ago, a severe bout of slip disc brought Shailaja to Mallige Hospital in Bangalore.
Anesthesia problem agi Dr. Muthu and the team.
She was operated on by Dr. S. Muthu. Couple of hours after the surgery, Shailaja's husband was told that there had been complications during the recovery phase of anesthesia. 6 months ago, although she was in a persistent vegetative state, she was forcibly sent to MS Ramaya Hospital by Mallige Hospital for neurorehabilitation and physiotherapy. But the situation has not improved for Shailaja and her family.
Ramaya Hospital
in MS Ramaya, we are being tortured every day to leave, as Mallige Hospital hasn't been paying for her treatment. The doctors haven't been treating her for the past 3 months. I have written letters to Health and Family Welfare, Karnataka Medical Council, Women Rights Department, Police Commissioner, Chief Minister and Human Rights Commission. Although they have all sent letters to the hospital asking them to take the patient's responsibility, Mallige Hospital is continuing to be ignorant. Shailaja's condition hasn't gotten any better after we came here.
We contacted Dr. Muthu, the orthopedic surgeon who operated on Shailaja, but he refused to comment. Meanwhile, the Karnataka Medical Council feels MS Ramaya has not fulfilled its duties correctly. The medical profession is at a crossroads today. Purists may dismiss these two cases as isolated, but negligence remains a problem in most of our hospitals where the number of patients far outnumber the doctors available. It is time the spotlight was turned on the very people we trust our lives on and hope that when the time comes, our doctors rise to the occasion like they are meant to. This is Deepika Shetty reporting for Sigma News.
Many parents have begun taking preschooling very seriously. They want nothing but the best education for their children. And that perhaps explains why preschooling has become such a big business today. Upasna Chetri brings us a special report.
What was once considered a place to leave the child for a few hours termed babysitting or play home is now big business. Parents sift through their preschool brochures as they once did for school. Many are also ready to shell out a fortune for the toddlers. The 2 formative years a child spends here offer a niche business opportunity, and preschools are mushrooming across the city. A few are also part of national chains. The number of preschools in city is growing rapidly with the increase in awareness of importance of early childhood education. During the last few years, many Montessori schools in Bangalore have turned up. Many parents today want their children to attend Montessori school due to freedom that is provided for their natural learning.
As far as the development of my child is concerned, she was not wanting to go to the school But as of now, she is always eager to go to the school and very reluctantly she wants to come out. See, basically, they give a very personal touch to the child, which I find very nice because, as you know, every child is special for his parents or her parents. Yeah, baby. So now, when I came over here, quite nonchalantly, what I saw is that they were giving very, individual, specific attention to the child, and that is what I liked most about it.
As economic development progresses and job opportunities lure workers away from their extended families, more and more parents need high-quality childcare for their children while they work. At the same time, increasingly affluent families are demanding better, more educationally oriented options for their children. This creates a huge growth market for profit childcare and preschool, as well as new economic opportunities for women in Bangalore to operate childcare and preschool programs. Some preschools also double as creches, providing daycare and charge astonishing rates. There are some preschools that charge up to 1.5 lakhs. On an average, rupees 30,000 to 35,000 is what you will need to give your child a head start in life.
There is nothing called as monthly payment. It is like they can pay in 3 installments, June, September and December. Okay, it is different for different classes. Like for playgroup it will be different. So basically it is somewhere around 25,000 plus.
Most schools have also started their own preschools from where the children automatically move on to nursery. And yes, the ones who charge a fortune ensure that the child gets royal treatment. Carpeted floors, free food prepared with care in their kitchen, 1 staff per 5 children, ID cards, safe toys and curriculum developed by experienced educationalists, all meant for the holistic growth of the child. Preschools which take in babies as young as 6 months don't teach them anything, but design their activities in such a way that their motor skills are developed. These preschools claim they make children school ready and that their brand helps children bag seats in elite schools.
See, most of the play schools will follow a structured curriculum. Ours will follow a blend of systems of education. Basically, we follow the Montessori method also. We follow the traditional method of teaching also, as well as the kindergarten method of teaching also. So it's basically blend of systems of education. We have picked up whatever is good from each system of education.
Preschools in Bangalore are densely populated in areas like Koramangala, BTM, Sarjapur Road, Banerghatta Road and Outer Ring Road, where the residents are mostly MNC employees.
Kids come from all the types of background. There is no such category wherein you can call it they are from business or IT or something. They are coming from all the types of background.
Play schools in Bangalore are mostly run by women of 25 to 35 years. This is considered as a good home business too. The first time investment might be high, but there are promising returns. This is Upasna Chetri reporting for Sigma News.
The increase in availability of musical instruments in Bangalore has been phenomenal in the past decade. The number of buyers and prices have also seen a sharp difference. Samvijit Roy has a special report.
Over the past decade, Bangalore has seen a sharp growth in the number of music lovers. This has resulted in a growth of buyers. Musical stores are now selling instruments and equipment at affordable prices. So, from kids to software professionals, music seems to be the new religion everywhere.
Due to this IT companies, more people get very less time to relax themselves, and music is the one way which could offer them peace in a very short time. So that is the reason people opt for music classes.
These instruments being available at more stores has made music a part of people's routine. Along with learning music, buying the equipment has also increased in the last 5 years.
Mostly people prefer guitar because it is easy to carry, and mostly people are passionate about guitars. Mostly they want to explore them into the Western culture. So that is the reason these people are opting for this rock bands, jazz band.